Man, it just feels real crazy to be able to go straight from a Big East, making it to a Big East championship to going straight to the NCAA. It's obviously something that a lot of people dream about, and it's just like being a dream of mine to be able to do this since I was a little kid. So it's just crazy to be here in this moment right now.
What did you learn about the tournament format, atmosphere from the Big East tournament that maybe can be translatable going into this next?
Yeah, I feel like it can show that anybody's beatable. Like everybody can be beat. Obviously, we had a couple good games and we played a very good Providence team, and then we kind of had our way with them in a sense. And I feel like them being a very high seed in the NCAA tournament just shows that like anybody can be beat on any given night if you don't bring your A game. So I feel like the momentum that we have going into the season, going into the postseason, even though that we lost, I feel like we still have that momentum on our side.
Fort Worth is relatively close to home.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours. I know I'll have a couple people in attendance for sure.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
You guys have had some lower turnover recently. What's behind that?
I just feel like it's more of our defense. I feel like when our defense is playing at a high level, we obviously can get out and run a lot more, and we don't have to be in the half court as much. So I feel like when we obviously hold teams to a short number of points and be able to play defense at a high level, that has a lot to do with the less turnover and the higher assist ratios.
For you guys' ball handlers, when you guys are struggling to turn the ball over, why do you think that is?
I just feel like it's because we have people like me and Roddy that haven't really had to play the one at like a high level really. Obviously, I was playing a little bit when R2 was here, but I never had to play it for 40 minutes straight. So I feel like some of those turnovers come from me, not being as experienced as a couple of these guys. But I feel like it's kind of working itself out towards the end of the season.
Playing big size is obviously a big factor in your defensive guys. What's the difference between playing against a year ago and now playing big size?
Oh yeah, it's definitely everybody in the NCAA can play defense at a high level at Division I. I feel like obviously you have some 7-footers like Ryan Kalkbrenner running around, so it's not easy to get into the paint and then finish a couple baskets. And obviously you have guards that have had a COVID year, so they already have like 5 years older than you, and they have that extra year on you. So I mean, it's kind of hard for people like me that haven't really been able to get in the weight room as much, and kind of those guys that have the years ahead of me.
One more for Trey. Trey, is the freshman year kind of gone the way you envisioned it? Because you've been thrown in so many different roles.
Yeah. I feel like the roles is something that I've kind of had to kind of pick and choose. Like I feel like Mac put me in a situation where he's giving me a chance to be able to shine and showcase what I can do, and I can only be grateful about that. But also like having to play the one, which is a position I'm not used to playing a lot. So I just feel like throughout the postseason it's going to be able to help us because we'll be able to play our best brand of basketball, and then the kind of guys that are all getting fitted into their role towards the end of the season. So it'll be good for us.
What do you think of the new balls?
Those are the balls I played with in high school, so I guess we'll see how it goes.
Thanks for having Jim. You obviously know defense. How well do you think the guard are in this situation where
I have locked up Arthur Klum on multiple occasions, so that's the last question for today.
Well, there's a lot of great defensive teams in the Big East, so I think having seen that, it certainly prepares us for what's ahead on Thursday. They may be as good a defensive team as we've played all year. I think the numbers prove that. Really hard to score, very disciplined in what they do. Great job protecting the rim. So that's going to be our challenge. Number one, you got to defend them, but number two, you have to figure out a way to score. And we've been in some wrestling matches this year. We're about to enter another one Thursday. I hope we are Thursday. We're going to need to be. And defense travels. I saw a statistic going into the Nova game that our defense since Christmas time was the 10th best in the country, and their offense since Christmas time was the 6th best in the country in terms of efficiency. So, our defense was able to do it against a really good offensive team until Gillespie stepped up late that game. But our defense is going to have to be on point because it's going to be a grinded out game.
Hey, Mac, you got a guy that's local. What do you remember about him in high school? How did that?
Well, I remember. Obviously, he was terrific when he was young, and then he had the significant leg injury. We played against him. I don't know how many years it's been now, down in Las Vegas when they beat us in a tournament there. So it's hard to believe he's still around. But obviously he's strong, he's athletic, plays a great energy role for them off the bench. And, has been a guy they've looked to go to late in games. I've watched some of their the close games that they played during conference play, and, he's certainly someone that Coach Dutcher's relying on. Well, we prefer to be a pretty offensive team, but it requires shots going in. And, even though we haven't shot the ball as well this year, I think we're still third in the league in three-point shots attempted. So we didn't really move away from who we are. We just didn't make as many. And then obviously our pace has taken a hit with Nemhart's injury because we just don't have the depth to play the way that we'd like to play. But you try to figure out the best way to win, and defense has given us the opportunity to do that the last 6 weeks. We'd have been done without him. We wouldn't be standing here talking. I'd be making the turn right now somewhere probably. So he's a combination. Number one, you can tell he's a coach's kid because he gets it. And number two, you can tell he's got a very high basketball IQ because everything that was thrown at him virtually every night, he's handled it without any speed bumps. There really hasn't been a game that you've looked out there and said, Trey's really trying to adjust to what's going on. If we've had problems, it usually hasn't been him. So I couldn't be more proud of him. I know his family's really proud of him. He stepped into a difficult situation and has done an awesome job. And it's really exciting. You hate to look forward when you're still in the middle of it. But this experience is going to pay dividends, huge dividends for him down the road, having to play this role.
Two more, Coach.
You just said that.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and then our secondary ball handlers have done a good job as well. Alex has taken pretty good care of the basketball, and Hawk's done a good job. Rocky's coming off the bench. Art has to handle the ball a little bit more than he did before. So it'll be tested on Thursday because they are as physical and as disciplined as any team we play.
You got through Selection Sunday. Now it's going to work time. Seems like the next committee up with these guys stepping up to not only you going to the dance is kind of coming back to the
Yeah, I think number one, they finally got some sleep last night, so they probably feel better in that regard. At least they did. I didn't, but they did. But I think they're just excited to be part of the tournament. It was probably unexpected with this group, even if you go back 6 or 7 weeks ago. So the way we finished, obviously they deserve it because they've played some great basketball. But we'll be pretty careful with them today. We had a lot of guys log serious minutes, 3 days in a row. So today's going to be more of a walkthrough and then more of a mental practice, and then we'll get to work tomorrow on San Diego State.